Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Software Inc. Alpha 10. I certainly hope you're having a wonderful day, because I'm certainly excited to be back with Nerdersoft, where things, I have to say, are going very, very well. Last month, we made £1 million on Wave Studio Pro, and also 1.6 million on Picture Cut Pro 2, which is fantastic. We did nothing to deserve that money whatsoever, but we got it anyway, because I decided to be a filthy, dirty old businessman and buy out a company to stop them from, or attempt to buy out a company, I should say. I believe the company whose product we took was one that we couldn't fully buy out because they were too new of a company. They then went bankrupt. Shortly after they released a product, we took over marketing, and because we have good marketers, we have been able to make a ridiculous amount of money from that software, which is all sorts of dumb. I mean, if we go in and sort here, we can see Picture Cut Pro 2 has made us £13 million. That's ridiculous that it's done that. We didn't invent it. We did nothing to deserve that money, but £13 million. I'll take it. I will take it, because we were in trouble for a little while. We did have some issues where we were obviously, oh my god, there's another, we're up to 40 million here. There was obviously some problems with the amount of money that the company had plummeting for a while. We were losing so much money. I am glad, though, that things seem to be fixed. Now, before I hit the record button, I actually did get a little notification from the game saying that some of the temperature regulation units up here are having some issues. I'm also somewhat aware of the fact that this little space in the side here doesn't have the same style as everything else. So let's just go ahead and make sure that that is fixed, which it now is. We could totally expand up there, couldn't we? Like, this building is kind of designed in such a way that we could just, like, copy this floor up there and then put another floor on top of it. We might do that eventually. It would maybe be an idea to put some offices up there for team leaders, because at the moment, obviously, me being over here is causing some issues with the team meetings. It takes a little while for me to actually get to the meetings, but we'll figure that out eventually. We don't want to go too crazy with this building, because eventually I would like to move to the city. I would like to do that still, so we'll see what happens. Either way, I think we'll go ahead and put a temperature regulation unit there, and just another one over there if possible, which it totally is. There we go. So that should solve the temperature problems that I was getting some complaints about. And I believe with that, we should go ahead and have a little bit of a look at NSOS and see how it's coming along. So 72.6 is the recommended / estimated code units, with 5.4 being the art. So it's getting there. It is getting there. Chaos Engine is due to release September next year, which is interesting. I didn't realize it was September next year. It is in beta, though, so do we want it releasing next year? I mean, I guess we could take the core team off of it and leave the game devs on it. Apparently no one is competent with 2D art. Really? No one out of our game dev teams is competent with 2D art. Interesting. Should they not be getting education? They should be. Let's maybe lower the cooldown to 2 months. Actually, let's say 0. They can just go on education again immediately. And then the same with you. It's going to be 0. So we'll do that. That'll be fine. And that'll get them educated quite nicely. I think what we'll do is... Does the support team have a leader? It does. Let's say that they can have 0 on the cooldown as well, just to make sure they get their skills up a little bit. And then for the core team, I'm thinking we're going to do the same thing. Just do that and make it 6 people that can go on education at any one time. So that means that we're going to have more people out of the office more regularly, but it also means that education and general skill levels across the board are going to be going up, which is absolutely what we want. We want people to be, you know, getting better at what they do. And speaking of the core team, I actually want to respond to a comment I saw a couple of videos ago, and I think I did reply to this comment, but I also want to mention it in a video. Because someone was asking why I keep giving the core team marketing jobs. That's because, basically, within the core team, we have 4 subdivisions. We have the marketers. Well, we can do it this way. We have marketers, artists, designers, and programmers. That's what the 4 rooms are for. And then, all of the way their jobs are set up is that they won't do anything outside of what they're there to do. So artists will only do art, and then marketers will only do marketing. So the people that are there to do marketing can be given those marketing jobs, and they'll do them amazingly. That's why so many of our products, when we spend enough money on them, end up having widespread marketing, because there is a subdivision of the core team that can do that. So basically, it is perfectly fine to give that team that job, because within the core team exists a team of marketers. That's why they keep getting those jobs. I'm not giving marketing to people that can't do it, is basically what I'm getting at. Now with that in mind, I'm thinking we maybe bring the release of Chaos Engine forward. I think we maybe release it in January of 93. So I think we maybe go to marketing. We maybe bring the release date forward to January of 93, which is fine. That's gonna give us 5 months. And then I think we start marketing this. So we're gonna put together a press release. We are going to put out a press build, and we are going to hype it as well. And we'll see if people actually have any interest in the Chaos Engine. It has a couple of followers. Nerdrosoft Wave does not meet demand. Interesting. Is Nerdrosoft Wave... Nerdrosoft Wave did make some money last month. That's interesting. Let's order a couple of copies. I know we could print them ourselves, but we'll order, you know, 10,000 copies. Why not? We'll do that and see how it goes. And I think what we'll also do is, as soon as this press release is done, we'll get that out of there. The reason I want to push or bring Chaos Engine forward is, it's kind of simple. I don't think we need a year of beta. I think it's fine. So we'll just release the press release. That's brought the follower count up a little bit. We shouldn't be losing followers anytime soon. And what I'm also thinking is that as soon as it releases, we can immediately go ahead and start working on games. In fact, I wonder if we go to game, can we use our own engine? It's not technically out yet, obviously, but what I'm thinking is it's in beta. So, I mean, obviously the answer seems to be a solid no there. That's fine. A little bit frustrating, but whatever. Nerdrosoft Wave made 10,000. Why is it selling suddenly? Why has Nerdrosoft Wave had a resurgence here? That's a little bit weird. I mean, you know, it's a little bit of bonus money every month, but it's very strange that it's had a resurgence. I'm ever so slightly confused about it, is what I will say. Now, something else I've actually seen in the comments recently is that we should move our cleaners to come in after everybody leaves, which I think I'm going to go ahead and do. I think that seems like a fair idea. And the reason that we apparently want to do this is because cleaning actually disturbs your workers. At least, again, this is what I've been told. So moving maintenance and IT and cleaning to those different times apparently is fine to do. That also means we can move this last courier to come in a little bit later, so there's a good amount of printing time in the middle of the day there. That does unfortunately mean that time skipping is going to take a little bit longer, because obviously there are going to be people on the property until 8 o'clock every day, but that's fine. I don't think that's too much of a big deal. We can make it work. There's the cleaning going ahead right at the end of the day. Looks like everything is actually getting cleaned really well. The cleaners are done. The IT people are done as well, and we have our team leaders wanting a bit of a raise. That's totally fine by me. I have no issue giving them a raise. No issue whatsoever. And I'll tell you what we're also going to do. I'm going to take a couple of deals here. So let's see. Have we got any? We have a hosting deal. Let's take that, put it on the hosting server. And we have some print jobs as well. So we can take that one. That'll be nice and easy. We have a print job here as well. We'll accept you. We have a print job here for November 93, 4.9 million copies. I don't know if we could do that. 180, yeah, May 93, I think we can do that one. Pretty sure we can do that one. I'm pretty sure we can do that one. And then we have, yeah, that 4.9 million one. I don't think we want to chance that. I think we'll avoid the 4.9 million one. Either way, next month we're going to be releasing Chaos Engine, which I'm very excited about. Very excited to start working on video games. Keen to see my company making video games. It's about time. I've been wanting to do this for a while, so definitely keen to see how this goes. So it is January 93. It is time. We are going to release the Chaos Engine. And of course, we're going to start a marketing campaign. $25,000 per month on marketing. We are going to need to... I'm going to order some copies, I think. Well, I think we'll do 150,000 to start with. Actually, let's do 250,000. There's not that much of a consumer reach, but we'll do 250,000 copies to start with. And of course, we can print our own copies as well. Is there actually a button here for printing? I don't know if there is. Either way, Chaos Engine is actually good, which is fantastic news. It was kind of costly, but that's all right. In terms of printing, let's say start printing. And let's say the maximum number we're going to do is 100,000 copies. Actually, you know what? 150,000 copies at any one time. And it's not going to print for a bit. That's all right. Hopefully we can do this one, though. Hopefully we can do this one. I think we might be able to. Maybe. Once this one's done, I think we're good. Interestingly, this one doesn't seem to be getting anything done at the moment. I guess maybe we need to upgrade the printing area. Maybe the printers aren't enough. Maybe we could order in a couple more. I mean, not going to be too difficult to do that. Just go ahead and duplicate and then spin them around. And then maybe move them into position, because that's definitely not where we want them. So something like that might help us out a little bit. If we take a look at the printing. Yeah, there we go. So we can totally do that. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. So let's find out. Chaos Engine. Money or no money? 3,000. Not money. Okay. Good. Good. No money whatsoever. Either way, it's our first gaming product. I'm not interested in reading that review, actually. I don't feel like I need to, because what I feel like we need to do is we need to start making video games, right? So the game engine is going to be the Chaos Engine, which brings us up to great in terms of games. We're going to add all of this stuff in, which could make things interesting. We can do cutscenes, we can do all this. So we're going to do Chaos Engine. We, interestingly, cannot use our own 3D editor. That's a little bit annoying. So if we wanted to do this, we'd need another 3D editor. Okay, what if we just did 2D graphics for the time being? 2D graphics with cutscenes. And then use Chaos Engine. We can't use... Wow, okay, so we need a new 2D editor. That's a little annoying. Okay, this game isn't going to be using all of our own stuff just yet, but that's okay. Let's use Cinema Frames Pro 3. And what kind of game are we making? I guess an RPG, maybe? A 2D RPG? Sure, let's make a 2D RPG. Let's put all that stuff back into it. I didn't really want to take any of that out. But just put all of that back in. It's going to be 2D using... I guess we'll use the more recent one. They are both great. And it will be, I don't know, the Legend of Brian. There we go. The Legend of Brian. That'll do. It's $57.75. Maybe just let's do like $49.99. That's expensive. That's kind of expensive. And we can only put it on int stop OS. That's fine. That's fine. Let's give it to Game Dev 1. I think Game Dev 1 will do it fine. So we'll give it to Game Dev 1. It's going to take more than a year. And develop. And then we can start making another one. So that's going to be a 2D RPG. Let's go to another game and say that this one's going to be a sports game, possibly? I think a sports game could be good. Maybe a 2D sports game. Or maybe, what about an adventure game? Let's do an adventure game instead. It doesn't have an open world though, so maybe not. Let's just do sports. Let's just do a sports game, because I remember playing like FIFA 93, and I actually really enjoyed that game. So we're going to use Chaos Engine. We're going to use this editor. We're going to use Wave Studio Pro. It's also going to be $49.99. It's apparently running on... It does have multiplayer, so it's running on the dev server. That's probably something we want to be careful of. Let's just put it on hosting for the time being. And we need a name for a sports game. I have no idea, though. I mean... Ooh. Let me think of, like, good sports game names. Obviously, like, FIFA and Pro Evo. Is Pro Evolution Soccer even a thing anymore? When was the last Pro Evo game? I've no idea. What would be a good sports game, though? Nerdrosoft Football? Maybe, and then you can leave it open to interpretation as to whether or not it's American football, or soccer, or even Gaelic football. It could be that as well. I think we'll just go, Nerdrosoft Football. We're gonna go boring with it. It's 1993, it's fine. I'm not even born yet, so you can't blame me for, a bad game name. We'll give it to Game Dev 2. And they can work on Nerdrosoft Football and develop. So there we go. Those are going to be worked on. Chaos Engine is being supported. And SOS is coming along really, really nicely as well. And I think what we're going to do is actually take the game devs and support off of that. And we'll just let the core team work away on NSOS. The two game dev teams can work on their respective games. And apparently we can't keep up with support for Wave Studio Pro. It does have 291,000 active users still, so that kind of makes sense. Chaos Engine, unfortunately, doesn't seem to be making any money. Can we port it to anything? We actually totally can. We can port it to Bot OS and Frame OS. So let's do that. Wave Studio Pro, I think, is awaiting a port currently. Yeah, maybe. No, I don't think Wave Studio Pro is actually. I don't think we've ported that to anything. Frame OS. Let's move it on to Frame OS. Let's get Chaos Engine and Wave Studio Pro ported over to a couple of different operating systems. And that's something I've heard a couple of people mention, is that it could be better to develop software for one operating system and then port it after launch, rather than doing what I'm doing, which is trying to develop something for everything. And that's something I'm going to keep in mind, because that might work out, you know? Get an initial, like, really good launch for your product and then move it onto another operating system and kind of get that second wind almost. That might be a good thing. Anyway, we'll see how Wave Studio Pro does with about 200,000 new consumers potentially ready to buy it. It might have a resurgence. Yeah, 4.9 million of a resurgence. And Chaos Engine just hit 3.6 million with a port over to another system. So it seems that the porting was a good idea. Seems the porting was a very, very good idea there. Quite happy we went ahead and did that, because it seems to have worked out fantastically for the company. It's also nice to be earning money that I actually, you know, earned rather than got because I accidentally acquired a company. That's a nice thing. Let's go ahead and end marketing on Picture Cut Pro 2. Can't keep up with support for Wave Studio Pro. Yeah, that'll happen. That'll happen. Also, interestingly, it seems most of the core team is on holiday currently, so... Also, the game devs seem to be on holiday too. Although the marketers, I don't think were. I think the marketers were actually in. Oh, wow, there we go. We had a massive drop-off on Wave Studio Pro. Chaos Engine still making shed loads of cash, though. Chaos Engine sitting on 9 million profit with 199,000 units sold. I don't think there's anything new to port it to. Could be worth looking into porting Picture Cut Pro 2, though. Yeah, put it on Frame OS. And then get marketing it again. Maybe give it a small marketing budget of 5,000. I think we'll do that. I think we can also go ahead and just close NSOS for a little while. We'll just minimize those as well. And move this marketing up there. Alright, so I'm curious to see if the port for Picture Cut Pro 2 ends up being a good thing. Because I imagine it'll make money again, right? You would assume it would make some cash with being moved to a new system. So we'll find out what happens there. I mean, it is currently losing money. It also seems like most of the core team isn't in. And the game devs haven't been in for a while either. Where exactly are most of my game devs? Where are all of you? What's your current state? You're all in class? That's not right. Is my entire core team in class? Vacation, work, class. A lot of them, yeah. That's a bit weird. Oh, you know what's happened? The education cooldown. Basically, what it's doing is it'll send 6 people on vacation, wait a month, and then send another 6 people on vacation. Not vacation, education. That makes sense. That actually makes sense. Let me change that again then. So it is going to be every 6 months we have a cooldown. Otherwise, nothing's going to get done. So, 6 on support. Then game dev is going to be 6 as well. And then the second game dev team is going to be 6 months as well. So there we go. Everybody's going to be out for a little while. A little bit unfortunate that that worked out. But, I mean, we'll get people back eventually, and they'll get back to work again. Eventually. I may have ever so slightly messed up there. But that's fine. Nothing to worry about too much. It looks like a few of the game devs have actually come back in, which is good. We can get Nerdosoft Football into active development. And hopefully get the Legend of Brian into active development soon as well. That name is, on one hand, never gonna grow old, and on the other, absolutely gonna grow old. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things. At first, you're like, oh, classic Legend of Brian. And then on the other, you're like, yeah, that was never actually funny. But you kind of laugh at it anyway because it's awkward. Anyway, fortunately, it seems to me that the core team is back. So let's just knock the priority of the Picture Cut Pro 2 port up a little bit, so we can see how that plays out. Still making a lot of money on Chaos Engine. Very happy with that. Wave Studio Pro, not making much. Picture Cut Pro 2, still making nothing, but that might change when the port's done. Let's start developing Brian there. And there we go, that port's done. Okay. So the question becomes, when does NSOS get released? It's very close to having its code units where it needs to be. So let's outsource a review here and see what exactly the general thoughts are on NSOS. Because, oh, that's good. That is good. The 3D audio network, 3D audio and network aren't great, but that's not bad. That is not bad. We might be able to release something here that's absolutely fantastic. Also, 3.4 million on Picture Cut Pro 2 there after that port, so I'll take it. Wave Studio Pro making nothing. I don't think Wave Studio Pro needs ported to anything, does it? We could put it onto Doorslide X. That is a new operating system. We could maybe port the Chaos Engine over to that as well. And just get that to be a priority as well. We could potentially move Picture Cut Pro over to it as well. Because it isn't a bad operating system. Actually, interestingly, NSOS is currently considered outstanding. I just noticed that. That is actually huge news. So there we go. We'll get those ports done. That should bring us a little bit of bonus cash. Which is, of course, something I will never turn down. There we go. Couple of ports done. Last port of the day didn't get finished, but we should see a bit more money come in on almost everything. I think. We'll find out. 3.4 million on Wave Studio Pro, 2.6 million on Chaos Engine, 2.5 million Picture Cut Pro 2, and we are about to pass, I do believe, the 100 million pound mark, which is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I'm very much okay with passing 100 million pounds here with the company. Very, very much okay with that. I'm actually curious to see just how much Picture Cut Pro 2 happens to make here. Gonna be 3.4 Chaos Engine dropping down to 500,000. Wave Studio 500,000 as well. We're currently sitting on 101 million pounds. So I think at this point, it might be worth moving NSOS into beta. Let's get one more outsourced review. The code units aren't necessarily where it recommends, but the quality is apparently outstanding. It is a 7.4 out of 10. Let's maybe try and get it to 75 on the code units. It recommends 72.6. It also recommends more programmers than it currently has. But we'll see what happens there. Either way, I mean, Brian recommends 28 and 19 on those units, so that's going to take a while. Notice Football, 21 and 14. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. I think we'll just let everybody work. I think we'll just sort of let them work. I think what I might do actually is I will assign the game devs back to NSOS, and I'll just make sure the priority of that is a bit higher. So 72.6 is what's recommended. I think we'll just go for 73 and then move it into beta. We can maybe give it a year of beta. Let's maybe aim to release this at the end of 1995. I think December 95 is when we're going to want to release NSOS. That seems like a good time to do it. And you know what? We just got 72.6. The recommended code units are there. Push it into beta. And you know what? Let's put a release date in. October 2000 is a bit too far away. It is going to be December of 1995. Giving us 1 year and 8 months to start getting bugs out of NSOS. It's a computer operating system. That does unfortunately mean that we're sitting on, you know what? Skip the porting for all of these things so that we can just, you know, not worry about that. And let's just double check something here. Is there anything else this needs ported to? Nope. Okay, so we didn't get as much money on anything for that past month there, but we are sitting on 105 million. We're still getting profits as well. Nowhere near as much as I'd necessarily like, but profits nonetheless. Let's take a few hosting jobs just because we can. Could take a couple of marketing jobs as well. We could take some development work. We absolutely could take some development work. Because none of our developers are really doing anything. Or sorry, not development work, actually. Design work. I need to be very careful there. Design work. Our designers aren't doing anything. But then it's a situation of potentially working for the competitors, which, let's be real, we really don't want to do. So maybe we just wait. And maybe we do move an office up to that floor. That might not be a bad idea. Might not be a bad idea to get a couple of offices up here for all the team leaders. Or at least just me. That'd be nice, just having an office up there for me. I'm tempted. I'm very, very tempted. But I'll tell you what we're going to do. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to leave it there for today. We've passed 100 million pounds. We are releasing NSOS in about a year and a half. We're making money still. And when NSOS releases, we need to immediately start, you know, just working on games, on 2D editors, on whatever we can work on. Essentially, we just need to work on it to, you know, get it all onto NSOS. The idea is still the same. The idea is that we eventually start working on proprietary software. I do realize, though, we can upgrade our computers, can't we? Like, that is a thing we can do, right? Replace with laptop. Can we do this? 2000, but we can't do those. Okay. I would like to select all of the computers in all of the rooms because they all need an upgrade to just be a little bit better. So grab all of those. Then we'll do the same in all of the development rooms as well. And this should, I believe, just make everyone a little bit more efficient. So yeah, power and noise. I mean, power goes up, noise goes down, or stays the same, goes down a little bit. Environment gets boosted. Less electricity, more durability. Can't get the laptop yet. There we go. So all of the computers have been replaced, which I think is good. Actually, no, not all of the computers have been replaced. Mine is still that old brick. Let's just do that. There we go. Everybody has a new computer. They can all continue working. We're actively working on The Legend of Brian, actively working on Nerdosoft Football, and we are a year and a half out from the release of NSOS. With that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, thank you kindly for watching. This has been Software Inc. Alpha 10 part whatever it is. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!